Okay, so my name is Brett Martin. I am the founder of Mom and Pop Business Funding. I'm also the founder of the Merchant Cash Advance Company, Subprime Business Funding, the ISO Recruiting Company. I can give you a whole bunch of names. Well, originally, when I started in the industry, I started with the name West Coast Business Funding and East Coast Business Funding. But what I wanted to do really badly was find a brand. And in 2014, I came across this American Gothic painting of the farmer and his wife with the pitchfork. And I love that. And I bought the rights for $100,000 to make a cartoon caricature out of that, or have someone do that for me. And then we built the brand over the course of the next year and a half around this. So to talk a little bit about what we do, it's pretty obvious, but it's not obvious to some of you. I mean, in the name, it says it all. Mom and Pop Business Funding. So that's what we do. We offer business funding. We loan business owners money, and we do so really quickly in a world where most banks are not lending to business owners right now. In fact, over 98% of all loans applied for with the SBA and with banks are being denied right now for business owners, for business loans. So it's a tremendous time to be in this industry. Now, we loan up to $1 million, and these loans are unsecured. And we loan that money in 1 to 2 days. Now, some of you are stuck on that word, unsecured, and you don't know what that means. That's okay. What that means is that we don't want a title to their boat, their car, their house, their commercial building, their Rolex watch. We're not like a pawn shop where they've got to drop off their chainsaw and then we loan them money, or they drop off their Rolex watch or their wedding set and we loan them money and keep that collateral, those watches, that ring, a title to their car or their truck or their boat or their house. So this money is unsecured. If someone defaults on this loan, if someone doesn't pay this loan back, then our company, my company, loses that money. Now, we are the only company in this industry that does not take your commission back. Again, we are the only company in the industry that does not take your commission back. Every one of my competitors will take the commission back if the business owner defaults on the loan, doesn't make payments on the loan. These loans have no prepayment penalty, which means they can pay them off early, and most of them do. So what we have built in our contracts is a prepayment addendum that allows them to get a lower cost to the money. So it's less expensive for them if they pay it off quicker. They actually get a break called a prepayment discount, not a prepayment penalty. Okay? Now, my focus this week is going to be on marketing and advertising. Sorry about that, excuse me. Again, my focus this week is going to be on marketing and advertising. So, you've all been supplied marketing or advertising materials from Grant's division. Now, some of you are saying, like David or Lenny or Miguel or Brenda or John, you may be saying to yourself, some of you, Sybil, you may be saying to yourself, I don't have any flyers. Well, just refresh your browser and you'll find the flyers. Again, refresh your browser and you'll find the flyers. Now, some of you are in the crowd right now saying, I don't know how to refresh my browser. That's okay. Go to Google and type in, how do I refresh my browser in Gmail? Now, some of you are dying to say to me right now, well, Brett, I don't have a Gmail email address. I have a Comcast email address. Okay. Well, then type in Google, how do I refresh my browser in my Comcast email? Or how do I refresh my browser in my Hotmail or Yahoo email or whatever email platform you're on? And then you'll get instructions from someone 8 to 80 that will teach you within a minute or two how to refresh your browser. Now, why is our data going into your spam and junk and promotions and updates? Because we are on a corporate business platform. You'll notice it's Brett@mpbfunding.com or Grant@mpbfunding.com, not Grant@mpbfunding.gmail.com or Brett@mpbfunding.gmail.com. That would be a personal email address. This is a business server. And when a business sends you an email nowadays on your personal server, they have a tendency to overreact with their algorithms, with their matrix, with their firewall, whatever you want to call it. People call it all sorts of things. And what happens is, it's like a force field or a moat on a castle. It keeps you from being able to enter with the email, and therefore it ends up in your spam, your junk, your promotions, and your updates. So going forward all week long, you're going to fight this the first 2 or 3 days, and then one day you're going to wake up and say, all right, I'm starting to get their emails finally. So after class today, whether you're in class right now or whether you're going to listen to these recordings later, you will receive a recording of class every day after class. And they will be labeled day 1 of 4, day 2 of 4, day 3 of 4, and day 4 of 4. On day 1 of 4, we are not going to send you day 4 of 4. On day 2 of 4, we're not going to send you day 4 of 4 or day 3 of 4. Each day after class is over, you'll get that day's recording. So today will be day 1 of 4 that we will send out after class if you want to listen to this again. Tomorrow we will send out day 2 of 4. Wednesday we will send out day 3 of 4, and Thursday we will send out day 4 of 4. Now, I'm going to teach you how to advertise, how to market in this industry, which involves different senses, like hearing and seeing and smelling and touching. All right? So again and again and again, I'm going to be talking to you about the ingredients that matter. Just like Black Lives Matter, I believe ingredients matter when it comes to sales. And I believe that I've got those ingredients because again and again and again, since I started in 2007, I've been able to attract the business owner to my advertising or my traps. Like if you and I were beaver trappers, I'm able to get the business owner to come to those traps. And I'm going to teach you how to trap these business owners, how to get them to come to your bait, how to get them to come to your advertising, to your marketing. Now, some of you don't want to go door to door. Some of you don't want to leave your home at all. Good. I got your back. But then you're saying to yourself, well, I don't want to telemarket, Brett. Good. I got your back. You don't have to telemarket. And you don't have to go door to door. There's something here for everybody. Those of you that want to go door to door, I'm going to teach about that. Those of you that want to telemarket, I'm going to teach about that. Those of you that don't want to go door to door or telemarket, trust me, those will be days when at first you may say to yourself, I really don't need to participate, but at the end of the day, you'll say to yourself, wow, that was well worth it. I got a lot out of that. So I'm not here to waste your time. I'm not charging for your time, and I'm not here to waste for your time. All right? So that being said, going forward, what you're going to have to do is pay attention and invest your time. Now, what's difficult is that most of you, if not all of you, woke up one day recently and said to yourself, I need a new job, or I need to be part of a new business opportunity. And I commend you for that. I commend you for that. I'm excited you've taken the leap of faith and done so and landed on this platform. But here's the problem. When you and I open to the universe, open to God, open up to the, cosmos or manifestation field, or we start yearning and longing for a new job or a new business opportunity, what happens is, voila, they appear like magic. And not just one appears. In fact, they keep appearing. And they keep appearing until you say, no mas, sayonara, no more, I'm done. So what I would recommend is this, that you make a commitment. Well, we're involved in a society that is very, very, very timid when it comes to commitment nowadays. That there's never been more commitment phobes in American history than right now. A lot of people out there in the crowd right now have been snake bitten, lied to, scammed, and we have a tendency to keep one foot in the circle and one foot out of the circle. So what I would ask of you is this. If you feel like this is a scam, then for God's sakes, get out of here. Get the hell out of here. Trust your clairvoyance, trust your intuitions, and say to yourself, I think this is a scam, I'm out of here. It's the one thing that I'm not going to do this week is I'm not going to spend time trying to tell you otherwise. That is the last thing I'm going to do, is spend time trying to tell you that this is not a scam. If you have this built in your head, it's built in your head. You better trust your clairvoyance and your intuition. Now, those of you that don't think this is a scam, here's my recommendation. 4 days in the morning, Monday through Thursday this week, you take a 500-year-old lesson from Hernan Cortez, who came to the New World in his sailing vessels with all of his men, a little over 600. And what he did was he had them all get everything off of the boats, off of the ships, the sailing vessels that were of value to them. And then he took his managers and he had them burn the ships, sending a clear message to his men that we will not be turning back. And that, by the way, is the people that are most successful at this. And that is the mindset of people who are the most successful ones in our lives going forward. in your own life going forward. And remember, there's been times in your life where you've made commitments and things have gone your way. And it's actually sometimes surprising. Well, you shouldn't be surprised at all. That's the formula, or part of it, for success. Set a goal. Make a plan. Ask yourself a question. Do you believe in the goal? The plan. Then put the plan in action. And don't deviate. And if for some reason you've deviated, no big deal. Just put the plan back in action. And then last but not least, take a moment in time to recognize that you've accomplished your goals. Now, some of you are in a situation where you're saying to yourself, you know what, Brett, I haven't accomplished my goals recently. I don't feel like I'm nourished. In fact, I'm thirsty. And I'm malnourished when it comes to money. And I need nourishment. I need nourishment. And I need water. And I can tell you that when you get done this week, you're going to be involved in a situation where you look back on this all and you're going to say to yourself that I am no longer famished, weak, frail, anorexic, undernourished, underfed, starved. I've got this. And this is going to work for me. You found it. You said to yourself, it looks good. I'm in. You said yes to my team. My team sent you a welcome package. Trust your gut. Trust your intuitions. Trust your clairvoyance. But now in American history, more than ever, people are not trusting their gut. They're not trusting their clairvoyance. They're not trusting their intuitions. In fact, I have a neighbor that is a retired scientist that worked with biologists and other scientists at NASA for 41 years. And he said that he is convinced that we're going to wake up as a society within 25 years or less, and we will have lost our intuition and lost our clairvoyance. And we will no longer be trusting our gut. Because we're not utilizing them, and when we do, we get burned. And because we get burned, we have a tendency not to trust our gut, trust our intuitions, and trust our clairvoyance again after that, which is tragic, because it is the reason why most of our forefathers came to this continent, is they had something on their mind that made them think this could be better than where they're currently at. So your mother or father or grandmother, grandfather on one side of the family, or both, or great-great-grandmother and grandfather on one side of the family, or both, or great-great-great-grandfather and grandmother, go back 2, 3, 4 generations, somewhere in there said to themselves, I'm going to trust my gut. I'm going to trust my intuitions. I'm going to trust my clairvoyance. I'm out of here. Ireland and I are going to part ways. Scotland and I are going to part ways. Or whatever country your forefathers came from. Me, I can tell you right now, I came from a Ukrainian family on my mom's side, or Norwegian family on my dad's side, and I can tell each of you this, that I come from a long line of quitters. They give up. They gave up. They gave up real easy. And they used excuses, and they had regrets. And it curdled my stomach. And at a very young age, I started to recognize this because I was out on my paper route, and I was around men and women who were not quitters, who were successful, who had Jaguars, who had Porsches, who had those upper-end vehicles that I wanted to be part of, homes that had swimming pools, two-story homes that I wanted to be part of, homes that were painted freshly on an ongoing basis, repairs that were taken care of as opposed to homes that were run down like ours, yards that were not mowed. And I wanted to be around that energy of that man out there, or that woman out there, or that family out there, partaking in society with a smile on their face, rather than bitching and moaning and regretting and being angry and talking jealousy, and jealousy turning to anger or fear. Again and again and again and again and again, it was drilled into my head that money is the root of all evil. And then they threw me into Milwaukee Lutheran Church, and the pastor would stand up in the pulpit and scream from the top of his lungs within reason, "For the money of love is the root of all evil." And he would quote these passages. And I would sit out there over and over and over again. And I would hear people say, it's lonely at the top. Rich people are snobs. Again and again and again, these 1 Timothy 6:10 type verses. For the love of money is the root of all evil. And I didn't buy into it. Because I saw people around me with money, and I said to myself, by God, I want Puma tennis shoes like Mark Noble and Mike Weaver and David Bachem. I want Puma tennis shoes. I want Converse All-Stars. I want a second pair of Levi's. So I don't sit in my class over the top of the Levi's I have on, which are dirty, and the same underwear. And I peed the bed that night, and we didn't have enough water pressure, or the water was shut off, and I smelled like urine, and my clothes stunk, and my feet stunk. I didn't want that. And I didn't think for one moment that money was the root of all evil, at all. Or the love of money was the root of all evil. I wanted money. I needed money. I yearned for money. I longed for money. And I went out and started finding money at 8 years old, pushing a lawnmower around the yard, around the cul-de-sac, and mowing yards with a 5-gallon gas can, 1 gallon initially and then 5-gallon eventually, and a sign, duct taped, a real estate sign turned inside out, lawnmower for hire. And then I started to teach myself how to target market. Why not go after those lawns that were tall, those yards that had weeds? And over and over and over again, people would say to me, no, I'm not interested, or I don't have the money. Like, it's okay. I don't need that much money. How much have you got? Like, well, I'll give you $1. Okay. Because all it was to me was elbow grease. And I needed money. So at 8 years old, 9 years old, 10 years old, I'd have $100, $200, $300, $400 in my container of peas. That frozen pea container in the freezer. Because on top of it, I'd taken on a paper route. And then I took on a second paper route. And I started to realize, this is easy. This is fun. I would go up to Mr. Webb's and say hi, and he would teach me about IBM stock. Or I'd go over to Mr. Brown, he'd teach me about what psychiatric field was about and what it was like to be a psychiatrist. Or over to Mr. Bubenick's house and have him talk to me about what it's like to be a dentist. And I started to dream that I could do these things. And they would tell me that they came from nothing and that I could do these things. And they would start to hand me out books, like Napoleon Hill's book, Think and Grow Rich, or The Richest Man in Babylon. And then I started to find books out there like Bob Proctor in the height of his glory, or Brian Tracy, or Carnegie. And I was I was introduced to Vanderbilt and Morgan and the Rothschilds, who so many people hate. Old man Rothschild and Rockefeller, who so many people hate. And I started to say to myself, I want to be like him. I want to be like them. And the reason I wanted to do it was twofold. One, I wanted clean clothes. I wanted a clean house. I didn't want carpet that had smells in it and crap, cat pee and dog poop and wasn't cleaned up. And I didn't want a yard that wasn't groomed and a roof that leaked and a note on the front door or the front window that said you're being foreclosed on or the water's being shut off. I didn't want to live that life. I didn't have to live that life. It was very obvious to me that people around me were not living that life. So I decided I was going to be somebody that didn't live that life, that didn't run around with regrets, that didn't run around bitching and moaning. So if you find yourself involved in an environment where your stomach is touching your backbone, financially speaking, you have found the right platform. You have. The only reason I'm not out there in public with Jordan Belfort right now or Tony Robbins is that's not the platform I choose to use to deliver this message. It's not. But over 207,000 people have gone through this class that you just started since 2009 September. That's almost 250,000 people I've introduced to this industry, and I'm proud to say that most of those people are still on our platform or use our platform off and on throughout the year. Oh, sure, some of you will leave and you'll move on to other platforms. Go ahead. I don't mind you dating other women or other men. It doesn't matter to me. But at the end of the day, you'll come back because one thing we're famous for is we do pay in an industry where you will get ripped off. And the reason behind that is this is one of those rare industries where the CEO is sitting on the floor in their desk or behind their desk in a chair with the telemarketers, with the processors, with the underwriters. And when you hand your file into them, they will steal your file. When I built this company, I built it the same way I built my mortgage company before I sold it in December 2006. And that is that our staff members are not able to do loans. We don't allow it. That way they're not looking at your loan saying to themselves, I'm going to make this my loan. But our competitors like OnDeck and Capitus, they'll steal your loan. Our competitors will steal your loan. We won't. I can tell you right now that I started out with Smith Barney in the early 80s, in my early 20s. And I was there for about a week. And one of the managers stole a piece of business from me. And since I was an ex-boxer and an ex-world champion Roman Greco wrestler and a football player and a basketball player and a baseball player, and in my mind, one tough SOB, I beat the crap out of him. I got fired, but I got rehired when they found out he'd stolen my business. And I set a precedent that you weren't going to steal my business. Go ahead and steal everyone else's business. That's fine, but you're not stealing mine. So when I built my mortgage company and I built this company in this industry, I said to myself, we won't be stealing your business. Your business is your business. It's hallowed ground. It's hallowed ground. This is an eye for an eye justice. And I can tell you right now, you ain't stealing from me, and I ain't stealing from you. It's hallowed ground, a place considered sacred, holy, deeply revered. Hallowed ground. These are your loans, not mine. So you say to yourself, well, I got to build my own website. No, you don't. No, you do not. Go on to my website and click on that blue tab that says business owners. Or click on the green tab that says merchants. They're one and the same. And what does it say? Welcome, business owners. We don't work with you directly. Look at that first sentence. It says it all. We don't work with you directly, and I've underlined the word don't. Other than on the funding call and afterwards if you have issues once your company has been funded. Then it goes on to say the money we provide is distributed through our independent sales organizations or representatives called ISO partners. You, ladies and gentlemen, in this industry are called ISO partners. That's what everybody will call you in this industry, no matter where you go in this industry, is an ISO partner. It started back in the early 90s in the credit card processing industry. So what does ISO stand for? What does the acronym or abbreviation ISO stand for? Again, independent or individual sales organization. So again, here's what I've written under the merchant or the business owner tab. The money we provide is distributed through you, ladies and gentlemen, who are called independent sales organizations or ISO partners. And then I go on to tell the business owner, and we do not work with you directly other than on funding day when we make the funding call and in the event you have issues once your company has been funded. Then it goes on to say, please understand that we protect our independent sales representatives. Let me read that line again. Please understand that we protect our independent sales representatives and that we do not have a retail side to us whatsoever, and that you need to contact your representative that introduce you to our website for your vetting purposes in the event you want to procure working capital. You see, you can send the business owners to our website, but we will not allow them to do a loan with us. Go ahead and call right now that number at the top of the website. Go ahead, call it. I have the phone in my hand. Tomorrow I will show it to you, because tomorrow and Wednesday and Thursday you'll be able to see the screen. Today you can't. Tomorrow you will. It'll be necessary that you see the screen tomorrow. And understand, I have that phone in my hand for the office number, and we do not answer it. So every one of you should just go to that phone number, call it, and what it says in there is that if you're looking to become part of our team, go to the website, do not leave a message. And if you're looking to do a loan, go back and deal with the person that introduced you to our website for your vetting purposes, because we will not be contacting you. You see, folks, we will not be answering the phone. Now, we do have a back line or a BAT line, a BAT line, or a back line, BACK, where you can get a hold of us if you're part of our team. Absolutely. But not the one that's on the website. We're not going to sit and talk to you until we get to know you. So that's what we're going to do this week. We're going to get to know one another. And what you're going to find by the end of the week is I am here for you for the next year. With all the new people, I work with you for the first year. And make no mistake about it, there's going to be a time where you're going to need me. Because you may not find one of these opportunities for the next 2.5 weeks. And at that point, you may say to yourself, you know what, I'm insecure. I don't want to do this on my own. I need your help. Good. I'll be there to help you, as will my staff. In an industry, well, they don't give a shit about you, and they're not going to help you. All they care about is themselves. So we're here to help you in a world where there's not a lot of help. In fact, consider me the concierge at the front desk of the industry, like a hotel. Consider me the concierge, a caretaker at the hotel, one that's going to welcome you into our hotel, into our organization. Hell, I'm even going to take your bags to the room. I clean up barf. I clean up toilets. I'm the janitor half the time. Yeah, I'm the CEO, but I got to tell each of you something right now. I don't like a lot of the CEO responsibilities, the Chief Executive Officer responsibilities. So I don't handle payroll. I don't take care of the bills. My focus is this and this right here. And that is the gateway into the industry. I'm the one that welcomes you in. I'm the one that will continually be your largest cheerleader in a world where this just doesn't go on anymore. People like me, all they care about is themselves. We're in one of the most narcissistic periods in American history, and it isn't going to get any better. And the primary reason behind that is we've all come to realize just how expensive it is to be alive. That's why there's so many people out there copping out, leaving society, saying this is insanity. I mean, it's like a quote from Charles Bukowski, the famous writer, on work. His quote on work. I mean, it's one of the greatest quotes on the face of the earth. How in the hell could a man enjoy being awakened at 6:30 a.m. by an alarm clock, leak out of bed, dress, force feed himself, shit, piss, brush their teeth and their hair, fight traffic to get to a place where essentially you make lots of money for somebody else, and we're asked to be grateful for doing so, or the opportunity of doing so. In this industry, you work for yourself. You do not work for me. In fact, it's the other way around. I work for you, as does my staff. This is a whole new world for some of you. What you have to understand is without you, there is no us. I'm going to say it again. Without you, there is no us. You're not going to go to work at McDonald's and have McDonald's say to you, without you, there is no us. They're going to say to you, without us, there is no you. No different than General Electric or Nordstrom's or Papa John's for that matter, or Nike or Intel or IBM or Tesla. They're not going to say, without you, there is no us. They're going to say, without us, there is no you. Well, you got to understand, without you, there is no us. That's why we're going to treat you like gold. You're going to get a red carpet treatment at all times. You will be assigned a team leader, a national sales manager. You will have access to us at all times, as you're going to need that going forward. as you come across these opportunities, these loans, these business owners. Now, along the lines of advertising and marketing, I'm going to teach you what to say. You need to know what to say. I'm going to teach you how to say it, and when to say it, and why you're saying it. For Christ's sake, if you don't know why you're saying it, then you're going to be in a situation at some point where you're saying to yourself, I don't even know why I'm saying it. I don't know what to say. I don't know how to say it. But oftentimes people forget that you've got to know when to do this. As an example, if you're going to telemarket, you would never telemarket a hotel or a motel when people were checking out. The owner and the general manager are busy. You would never go to a hotel or motel or get on the phone and talk to a hotel or motel when people were checking in. The business owner and the manager are busy. You would never go to a restaurant while they were serving breakfast and want to talk to the business owner or telemarket a business owner that's serving breakfast. They're busy. So I'm going to teach you about the time of day to do this. What to say, where to go, when to say it, how to say it. There'll be a time where you need to hesitate like I just did. Or emphasize like I just did. Or maybe just drop it down a notch. Because what you need to know is this. You and I are in sensory overload. There's never been a period in mankind history where human beings have not been in more overload sensory-wise than right now, and America is the leader of it. Everywhere you look, Madison Avenue and the likes thereof is trying to get your money. And they'll try to get your money at all costs. Nothing has changed. Go back with me and land in New York. Pull into the port with me. And it's 1830, 1850, 1810. And you and I have just left Ireland or Scotland or Africa or London. And we arrived in America. And we've got $318 in our bra strap or in our underwear or in our shoe or $93 or $61. And we're going to make our way in the new world. From the time we step off on that dock to the time that we go to bed that night, there's going to be people that are trying to get you and I to buy things. Prostitutes, hotel and motel owners trying to get us to sleep there. Restaurants, open-air food environments. Clothing for sale. Supplies for sale. Mining supplies for sale. And you literally got to walk down the middle of the aisle like a church. And on both sides of the aisle, you're going to have people that are saying, whoa, where are you going? Stop. Whoa, sleep here. I'll give you a discount. Come on in here. Grab a beer. Put your legs up. Play some cards. Come on in. Gamble. Let's go. Gamble. Everybody wins. And it's like a carnival environment. And eventually you say to yourself, my God, I'm in overload. They know what they're doing. They're not stupid. With every boat that arrives. And it's the same when you and I decide that we're going to go through the learning curve, the rate at which we gain new experience. It is the reason why most of us don't want to go through the learning curve and learn new experience and new education is because, first off, it's a bitch. And second off, it may not be something we want to be part of. I mean, think about this for a moment. You signed up for the human experience. You sat there in your mother's womb. There's no such thing as butt babies. That's a lie. You sat in your mother's womb. And eventually you did what I did, I'm sure, and that is, get me out of here. I don't want to be here anymore. Some of you may have had it made and you wanted to stay in there, but for me, I couldn't wait to get the hell out of there. But believe me, none of us came out with party hats and party favors and partied down when we came out of the vagina, the birthing canal. No, we came out and we were screaming bloody murder, crying like that, carrying on. Because it's not fun going through the birthing canal. It's not fun going through the learning curve. But that's what I'm going to do this week is I'm going to take you through the birthing canal. I'm going to take you through the learning curve. And it's going to be a process that if everything goes the way I hope it goes and the way that it's historically gone, you're going to say to yourself afterwards, son of a bitch, or holy Toledo if you don't like that. There's some value here. This is tangible, not intangible. And I feel like I got something out of this, and I feel like I could be part of this, or I want to be part of this. And that's my goal for you, to feel fulfilled in a world where so often right now we don't feel fulfilled. I meet so many people who are not satisfied, not content, not happy, not pleased, not gratified, not comfortable, not in a serene place, not placid, not untroubled, not at ease. In fact, instead, they're unfulfilled, unsuccessful, have a lack of fulfillment, frustrated, disappointed, disillusioned, disharmony, disenchanted. It's everywhere right now. I see it everywhere. It's like musical chairs, and we're kids, and the music is stopped. And there's only one chair left, and two of us have to fight over it, or 10 chairs left, and 11 of us, or 12 of us, or 15 of us have to fight for it. It's a dog-eat-dog world. And make no mistake about it, I can tell you right now, it's never changed. It's the same in the 1600s when the Hudson Bay Company arrived, and it's the same right now in 2025. Don't let anybody bullshit you. You have found the short line at the post office. This is the opportunity of a lifetime. I know people who only do one loan a month, make $6, $7, $8 grand a month, and they're happy. Our average funded loan is $108,013. So you're making a little over $7,000 per loan closed on average. And if you're good at what you're doing, we're going to raise you up to 12 to 15% because we're not going to let you go. We want to hold on to you. We don't want you to go out to our competitors. So we'll go off sheet and we'll give you a higher commission. 15% of 100 grand is $15,000. It's $180,000 a year pre-tax. Make no mistake about it, making $1 million a year at this is nothing. Absolutely nothing. 5, 6 loans a month, and the next thing you know, you've made $1 million a year. I can show you how to do 5, 6 loans in a day. Every day, 5 days a week. There's nothing to it. When I stopped producing in 2009 and started training people and acting as a concierge at the front desk of this industry in September of 2009, I was averaging over 800 loans a month close of my own production for 7 months in a row. I'm going to teach you how I did that, how I got there. And it's going to be nothing for you. Every one of you could do this. But what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to emulate, imitate, copy, reproduce, mimic, follow. And the problem we've got is we all want to be originals. Very few people really, at the end of the day, want to emulate, mimic, copy, follow, reproduce. We want it to be our own. Again and again and again, we're told that we've got to be on our own to be successful, never realizing that there's packs of wolves out there for a reason. Packs of wolves out there for a reason. If a wolf thought for a moment that it could be successful on its own, they would all be on their own. Packs of coyotes, packs of wolves. So I'm going to teach you how to land these business owners. And it's not complicated at all. But understand this. If it were the 1830s, and you and I were going to go out today to trap beaver, and you got on your horse and I got on my horse, and I had some traps and you had some traps, and we had our gear, and we were going to go trap beaver, we would never trap beaver in the middle of the city. You'd never trap beaver on a basketball court. You'd never trap beaver on a baseball diamond or on a football field. So I'm going to teach you where to trap these beaver. But before we start trapping these beaver, I'm going to teach you how to boil the traps, because we have to get the scent off the traps. There's scent on the traps. And then we got to know what kind of bait to use. We can't use bear bait for beaver, and we can't use beaver bait for bear. But I need you to be able to shoot bear and squirrels and rabbits and elk and deer and tigers and lions and rabbits and squirrels. And you've got to have the right size arrow or bullet. You would never use an elk round of a .338 Winchester Magnum to shoot a squirrel. It would just disintegrate the squirrel. There's little teeny nuances to this. And I'm going to be talking about those nuances so that you can say to yourself, son of a bitch, I never actually thought of it this way. And that's what I've found over the years is there's these little nuances, these subtle differences that are going to mean everything. Subtle differences, nuances, ingredients. Black lives matter. But I can tell you when it comes to sales, ingredients matter. And if you're dealing with a vegan and you feed them a carnivore diet, marketing-wise, they ain't going to eat your meat. They're a vegan. And if you're dealing with a carnivore and you start feeding them a vegan diet, they ain't going to eat your salad, your carrots, your celery. For God's sakes, don't kid yourself. But again and again and again, since my days at Smith Barney, I've watched young, medium, and old men and women think that this is the way it's done, and they're trying to put a square peg in a round hole, and that's not what I did. I started to realize at 8 and 9 and 10 years old that there's a predictive nature to you and I, to humans in general. And I'm going to teach you about the predictive nature of these business owners. The time of day, what to say, why you're saying it, how to say it, in a world where you're not going to get this type of training, especially in this industry. Because what you have in this industry is you've got one hell of a lot of people making one hell of a lot of money, and they don't give a shit about you. The only way I make my money is I got to get you to put my money out on the streets. Now, let's address that right now. We're the lender. It's my money and my credit. We ran out of money a long time ago. So we have credit. Deutsche Bank, JP Morgan, European markets, Japanese markets. I've got 3-time full-time money buyers that work for me for the last 9 years or longer. And all they do all day is arrange credit crunches or credit facilities for me. Money. We need money like the body needs blood. $400 million, $500 million, $600 million a day. And they've got to find this money. And we buy this money. And then we mark this money up. No different than clothing. If we were a clothing store and I was talking to you on your first day, we buy the clothing, we mark the clothing up. We buy the food like McDonald's does, and then we mark the food up. Toyota sells the cars, but before they do, they mark the prices up. They don't sell them for what they built them for. So we're going to mark this money up. Now, sometimes this money is expensive. Sometimes this money is cheap. And sometimes it's in between. What differentiates between whether or not this interest rates or APR, annual percentage rate, or factor rate, or cost of money is inexpensive? Well, if they've done a great job of running their personal life and a great job of running their business life, then they're going to get an inexpensive offer out of us, a great offer out of us. But if they've done a poor job of running their business life and a poor job of running their personal life, they're going to get a poor offer out of us. All right? It's not our fault, and we don't take our finger and shove it in our mouth and moisturize our finger and then hold it up in the air and say, well, this is the way the wind is blowing, so let's go ahead and offer them this. What we do, if you look at your flyers, Tim and Brian and Edna and Troy and John, the rest of you, if you look at your flyer templates, you'll see right in the middle of the flyer templates, there's a rectangular white box, and it tells you we need 6-month bank statements that are business bank statements, and it tells you that we need the application filled out and signed and dated. Where do you get the application? In your welcome package. And you say to me, I didn't get a welcome package. You couldn't have got on this call without a welcome package. Well, there were no attachments, Brett. Yes, there was. You've got to refresh your browser. It's data, and it won't show up unless you refresh your browser or move your computer to a different area. Again and again and again, you're going to be stuck in this environment the first 3 or 4 days. We're like, I didn't receive it. It's like, yes, you did. If one of you received it, you all received it. So going forward, we will be sending a recording out each and every day. Each day we will be going over a minimum of 1, if not 2 or 3 different types of marketing. This is not a situation where we're going to talk you into, as an example, telemarketing. You don't have to telemarket if you don't want to. Now, we do sell leads. The only reason we sell leads for you people that want to telemarket or text or email is because we don't want you getting ripped off by companies out there. So we started selling leads about 8.5 years ago. Reluctantly, we didn't want to. But what I'm going to teach you this week is how to advertise for free, because that's how I did it. That's how I became the top producer in this industry and funded over 25,000 loans in less than 3 years. So I want to teach you how to do this for free. So if you're in a situation where you're saying to yourself, this is great, man. I don't have to invest in costs for marketing. Absolutely, we don't want you to. You don't need to. Now, tomorrow, in order to watch the screen live, you're going to need a computer or a pad. And some of you are like, I don't have a computer or a pad. That's okay. If all you have is a smartphone, you're perfectly fine. You can still do this business and still be part of this industry. So what will happen is you'll have to watch and listen to my recording after class is over, because we will send you the recording after class is over, and you'll be able to see it and hear it. But if you're live on the call like we are right now, I will be sending you a code after class starts tomorrow, not before, via email, that allows you to see the screen. So we'll be able to see the screen tomorrow, and I'm going to go over a lesson and teach you how to market starting tomorrow. And I'm teaching you what to say. Now, the neat thing, the cool thing, the outrageous thing about this is that the piece of marketing I'm going to teach you tomorrow, you've never seen it or done before, ever. And some of you that are mature out there or have that level of maturation when it comes to marketing or advertising are saying to yourself, oh, bullshit, I've seen it. You ain't got nothing you're going to be able to teach me that I haven't seen before. Not true. I'm going to teach you something tomorrow that you've never seen or done before. I guarantee it. And on Wednesday, I'm going to teach you something you've never seen nor done before again. I guarantee it. And on Thursday, I'm going to teach you something you've never seen nor done before when it comes to advertising again. I guarantee it. And after we're done, you're going to say to yourself, or along the way, you're going to say to yourself, son of a gun, or son of a bitch. This guy is different. That's right. That's how I became the top producer. I thought outside the box. I came up with an invention in the early 80s for marketing. I didn't tell anyone about it at Smith Barney. And in my third year, I became the top producer in the entire country out of over 100,000 men and women. Some of them that had been at it for years. So I'm going to show you these inventive ways so that you can be in a situation where you can be part of this and say to yourself, you know what? I'm at an advantage rather than a disadvantage. I want to be a protagonist in your life, not an antagonist. I want to walk away in your story or be part of your story having you said to yourself, this guy was not an antagonistic person. He was not an antagonist. He was a protagonist in my life story. That's what I'm looking for. That's what I'm longing for. That's what I'm going to try to achieve this week. And I usually do a pretty darn good job of it. I'm no different than you. I get tired. I do. But I can tell you right now, I'm not tired this week. I've got it in me. I can feel it. And that mojo, that bravado, that confidence is something that you're going to need out of me this week. Because I know that some of you are in a situation where you've gone on this platform and the sand is falling through the hourglass, financially speaking, and you don't have a lot of time left on the clock. And you need money like the body needs blood, some of you. I've even got a couple of you that are homeless. And I can tell you right now, again and again and again and again and again, I could tell you stories about people that have been homeless for a month, 2 months, 3 months, and then they're no longer homeless again. I got a call last week on Wednesday in the morning, right after class was over, from a young man, 28 years old, been living on the streets in Los Angeles for the last 2.5 years. He had tried everything, suffered from anxiety like me, couldn't find a regular job because he couldn't keep it because there's a lot of places he just couldn't work. He didn't like the confinement of the walls like me. So he came on this platform on a leap of faith. Talked his mom into loading his phone with minutes. Used the library for a computer. Took this class. Within 5 months, he had bought a home. Within 11 months, he had paid the rest of his folks' home off. His mother and father now work here. And that's what the call was about, was the mother was crying. And the three of them were on the phone last week. And they just wanted to thank me for everything. Listen, folks, I'm not looking for a thank you from you at all. I already know that some of you are listening to these words and you're saying to yourself, by God, I do want to be part of this. I thought I did, but now I do. And that means everything to me. Everything to me. That's enough for me. Actions speak louder than words. You'll start making some bucks. That makes me feel good. And it makes me feel good financially speaking because I make some bucks too. You put my money, my credit out on the street, the company makes money, I make money. So going forward, again, you'll need a computer or a pad tomorrow, Wednesday, and Thursday. If you don't own one, no big deal. You can always go to the library, or you can always just wait and watch and listen on your smartphone after class is over. Not an issue at all. There'll be something here for every one of you. It doesn't matter whether you want to go door-to-door telemarketing or just work remote from home. Trust me, we have people making just as much money working from home as we do people that go out door-to-door or that telemarket. So there's going to be a method of advertising or two for every one of you going forward. So tomorrow, the beginning of class, I will take your questions. Tomorrow at the end of class, I will take your questions. Wednesday at the beginning of class, I will take your questions. Thursday, I will take your questions at the beginning of the class. Wednesday after class, I will take your questions. Thursday after class, I will take your questions. Along the way, during class tomorrow, Wednesday, and Thursday, I will ask you, are there any questions about what I just went over? And we will discuss what I just went over, some of us. And the others will benefit. Do not email me your questions until you've graduated on Friday morning. And by then, I will have answered all your questions and then some. So then we won't have to have those questions in email format. So again, hold on to your questions. I will have a Q&A period at the beginning and end of each class going forward. You can ask all the questions you want. It doesn't matter to me. I'll stay on the phone 3 or 4 or 5 hours. I've done it before. I don't care. All right, so the phone call is at the same time tomorrow, same access code tomorrow. All right, we would not change it on you. That would be stupid. So we'll see you all back here tomorrow at the same time, same phone number. Have a wonderful day. Try to be good people. America needs good people right now more than ever. And if for some reason you're out there and you're antagonizing people, stop it. Your 15 minutes are up and we're not taking your shit anymore. Someone give me an amen. We're sick and tired of the antagonistic people. We've had it. And
Amen.
I'm not putting up with it anymore.
Amen, brother.
And I can tell you right now, there's a lot of people that are sick and damn tired of it. So if for some reason you're a little upset with the police, well then by God, don't do something that causes you to break the law. Someone give me an amen.
Amen.
Stop breaking the law.
Amen.
What the hell's wrong with you? What the hell is wrong with you? What makes you think you should just go out and burn down buildings or tear down statues or destroy property and there are no repercussions? You better not come my way. As by God, there's an eye for an eye justice. But you know what? If I came to your home, if I came to your place, your dwelling, and I rained on your parade, hell, I'd expect you to retaliate too. And I can tell you right now, this country has had it. And there are people out there that are finally defending themselves, and by God, it's time. We are sick and tired of people doing the wrong thing and bitching because we're upset about it. Stop doing the wrong thing. Start doing the right thing. And watch how your world changes. Watch how the world goes your way. Stop going against the grain. There's absolutely no reason to carry on in the manner in which a lot of people are carrying on right now. And I don't care if you're on the right or the left. What I care about is if you're on the far left or the far right. Because I got to tell you right now, I think both of you have lost your damn minds. Used to be a time when I didn't know whether you were a Democrat or a Republican, and I didn't care. I didn't care about your religious choices, and you didn't care about mine. So what the hell's wrong with us that we got to go out here and cram this stuff down people's throats or up their rear ends? I got children. I got grandchildren. And I got to pay for private school for my grandchildren because someone decided that it was going to be okay for little boys and little girls to share the same bathrooms. And boys and girls in Portland, Oregon, in junior high to share the same locker rooms and the same locker rooms in high school. What kind of shit show is that? But it's okay, by the way, to go down and use the administration's restrooms. They got male and female restrooms. Like, what? So we've got them in private school because the world just doesn't make sense anymore to a lot of us. So for me, just to let each of you know, I'm not going to be talking about religion this week. I'm not going to be talking about politics this week. But I'm going to tell you something right now. I'm going to be talking about wrong or right. Because make no mistake about it, if you're involved in an environment where your mind is full of stinking thinking, you've got to get your head on straight. Because these business owners are looking for champions. They're looking for Kaisers. They're looking for people that can lead them to the promised land. And make no mistake about it, if you're bitching and moaning and whining and complaining, there's probably that old adage that you're the problem, you're the solution to the problem, and therein lies the problem. Long ago, I took an inventory and realized I was the problem. I was the solution to the problem, and therein lied the problem. So I had to make adjustments. This life wasn't going the way I wanted it to go in my early to mid-20s. But by God, when I made those adjustments, holy cow, did my cup runneth over, and it hasn't runneth over ever since then. So all I'm going to do this week is continue to share loving kindness in each of your direction, and pray that each of you reach your goals, financially speaking, on our platform. Whether you like prayer or not, I'm going to use that word. Loving kindness in your direction. We'll see you back here tomorrow, all of you, hopefully. Bye-bye now. Thanks for joining us. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye. Have a wonderful day. Thanks for joining us. Go get them.
Thanks,
Have a wonderful day. You bet. Bye, brother. Have a great day. Thanks for joining us, sir. Bye-bye, Lolita. Have a great day. Thank you. You bet, brother. Bye-bye now.
Thank you.
Bye,
Yes.
bro.
Bye-bye, ma'am. Have a wonderful day. Bye, sir. Have a great day. Thanks for joining us today.
Yeah.
Bye-bye now.
Yeah.
You
Bye.
bet. Have a great day, man. Bye-bye now. Thanks for joining us, each of you. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye now.